I want you to do is I want you to spread them apart different directions and hold it there. We're going to spread it apart. And this time, we're going to point this part of our foot. Here's the next foot exercise. We're going to do this with no equipment, just the equipment of our hands and our feet. This is another good one for the foot and ankle and targets both the intrinsic muscles of the foot and ankle, which are the small ones in the feet and ankle, but also the larger ones that spread up through the rest of the body. Really going to trigger that, build that arch, and you're going to trigger better hip and back health as well. So principle of this is also a unique principle. We use this idea of stretching something as far as it goes and then trying to contract it without unstretching it. That's the key, and that's where a lot of people go wrong. So now what we're gonna do is, so I'm taking my foot here. And see how I'm bringing my big toe one way and my smaller toes the other? See how I can kind of reverse that as well? Bringing one toe one way and the others the other direction. I just want you to practice that a couple times. I want you to get used to this feeling. Our big toe and our other four toes really have different muscles. And so they have different pathways that they travel up the body. The way our foot gets stiff is those two pathways get kind of stuck together, and then our body can't rotate and our joints can't move with the space they need, therefore getting narrow and getting arthritis. Okay, now here we go. We're gonna do the same thing. All I want you to do is I want you to spread them apart different directions and hold it there. We're gonna spread it apart. And this time, we're gonna point this part of our foot. So I want you to notice one thing. I'm gonna hold my foot up like this so you can see. We can point the ankle like this, and then we can point the toes in addition. Or if we just point the toes, so to speak, it's more of just a curl under, right? But this action, or this motion, from your foot to your ankle here, you're just kind of pointing that ankle. So I can point the ankle technically, and I can bring the toes back. Or I could point the ankle, and I can also point the toes, right? So I am kind of flexible, but I'm gonna try to find a different position to show you the rest in. Okay, so I'm gonna be pointing this ankle joint, and then keeping this ankle joint pointed, I'm bringing my big toe forward and my little toes back. Now here comes the exercise. What I'm gonna do is if I bring my big toe forward, I'm gonna try to curl my big toe back. So my big toe is forward. Now I'm trying to curl it and wind it around that direction with my muscles. So my hand is holding it this way, which we call extended toe extension, but my muscles in my body are trying to bend it forward.
Then I had a problem with my foot. I started using your PressEX for that, and it's amazing. Now I can walk around 2 blocks with my dog with no pain. And my hip also, I think some kind of bursitis or something happened. Same thing, using the PressEX, I can walk 2 blocks with no pain.
And this is a neurological idea of contract, relax, or there's a lot of techniques that build this in. However, some techniques do it ineffectively. The most effective way to do this is bring it forward, and now I'm using my muscles to try to bring it back, but I can't actually see it move. So I don't want my toe to outpower the force of my hand. So I'm bringing it forward with my hand. What I don't want to see is my toe trying to bend back and it's slowly to move like that. What I would like to see from an outsider's perspective is my toe just coming back here and it's staying back, and I'm trying to pass it forward, but I don't actually see the toe move at all, even though I'm trying in my body, which is called an isometric contraction. When you try to move a certain way, but you can't because there's something blocking it. So same thing with our small toes. We can bring our small toes the opposite direction, and we're curling them under, So I'm taking my toes and I'm curling them under. And then I'm trying to bring them forward and I'm trying to extend them like this. But you can't actually see with your visual eyes that I'm trying to extend them because I'm not outpowering the pressure of my toes. So I'm pressing my toes to try to extend them back, but I'm holding them captive with my hand here. And so I feel the contraction in my body, but you as the viewer cannot see it. So now I'm gonna do both at the same time. So I have my toes split here like this. And what I'm trying to do, the goal is to keep this part of the ankle pointed, split the toes, and try to bring them the opposite direction. So I call this scissors because we're bringing this apart and we're trying to scissor them shut. So point this ankle, this is key. This is also a very common mistake that people make. They just leave this ankle joint floppy and loose. That's gonna completely lose the tension of your foot all the way up to your leg. So we split them here, the toes, big toe is forward, small toes are back, ankle is pointed, so it's kind of this position here. And then my big toe is trying to go backwards and my small toes are trying to go forwards in opposite directions. And then just like you did that, you can reverse it. Small toes go back, big toe goes forward, ankle pointed, always, always, always. Keep that ankle pointed really, really strongly. Now try to bring the toes back in opposite directions from where they came from. And you're gonna hold that contraction for 3 to 5 seconds and relax, and that's 1 repetition. Go again, hold that contraction, 3 to 5 seconds, and relax, and that's 2. Let's do 10 repetitions.